Hello, this is Edith Neumeyer, and I am the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. Did I miss 9/11 this year? Maybe on purpose, I don't know. But I'm just kind of very, very upset that we're even still paying attention to 9/11. Why? Not because I don't care about the victims of 9/11, the people that died. No, that's not it. It's pretty sad how many people died. But then again, you know what? People die all over the world every day, and nobody cares about them. So, what makes these people that died in 9/11 more important than the rest of the world? Again, I don't want to minimize their death at all. The reason why I'm bringing it up today, I remember 9/11. Okay, I remember it almost 20 years ago. It will be 20 years next year. I remember it. And I was standing in front of that TV and I'm thinking, there's something wrong here. That's not right. What is this? What nonsense is this? And yeah, it wasn't nonsense. But what they told us afterwards was a lot of nonsense. And people, even 20 years later, 19 years later, they're still believing the lies. And I believe every person that goes there during, the anniversary is holding up this false narrative, what happened there at 9/11. All of us, anybody and everybody who goes there, holds up that narrative. Nobody so far has investigated, not even our president has investigated into this situation. Now, I know I remember him saying before he was voted in president, before he became president during the elections, he says, 9/11, I know what happened during 9/11 and it needs to be exposed. Well, the guy hasn't exposed anything. Just like all the other blah, blah, blah he's giving us constantly. Not one he is following through. And that one, he hasn't followed through either. Nobody has really allowed the investigation. There are so many investigations that have been done in private hands. By now we all know what happened. Well, we don't all know, but the professionals know what happened on 9/11. They know it was not caused by airplanes or by, well, I shouldn't say terrorists, because yeah, it was done by terrorists. We should just say that. Terrorists brought down the towers, but not the terrorists that they're trying to tell us, not the airplanes that they are trying to tell us. I just did watch another video right now about 9/11. It's called 9/11, The Plot for Global Domination with Corey Hughes. And it's done by Forbidden Knowledge News. Now, Forbidden Knowledge News is trying to give you some really good news. However, this Corey Hughes is not going deep enough to figure out who really is behind 9/11. The guy seems to stop every time with Zionism. Now, what he brings, the information, the limited information he's bringing is pretty good. We need to know that information about Zionism and how it relates to 9/11, because he is right. 9/11 is connected to Zionism. The guy who owned the World Trade Center just prior to the Trade Center coming down put a huge insurance amount on the World Trade Center. And almost like he knew that the Trade Center would come down. And then, of course, we have these dancing Jews on 9/11 somewhere in New York. Okay, I mean, that still is not proof. But this guy actually traces back very well these things to Mossad and to Israel. He traces and Zionism. He traces it back very well. Okay, I am not saying that's where the rabbit hole stops. No, not at all. Because he's also saying that JFK, Kennedy, was killed by Israeli. Now, my investigations that I have done, and I'm not showing them, okay? I'm not showing them like all these other guys do. You can go to them. They will give you clear backup of what they believe. And there's plenty out there. If you have not done the research, don't ask me. I'm going to put this link on the bottom. Okay, but again, this guy is not going to the bottom. If you have watched my videos, you know where the bottom is, or better, where the top is. Okay, the top of the pyramid. You know the top of the pyramid, right? On the dollar bill, the Illuminati pyramid. What is on top? It's always the all-seeing eye. Who is on top is always Lucifer. It's not the Zionists, okay, that are on top of it. Yes, the Zionists have been promised, and I'm going to continue from right there. Yes, the Zionists have been promised that they will get something for their dirty work. And I have said that even before in my other videos, okay? Because so many people just stop with Zionism in many areas. Like they're saying, oh, Israel or Judaism is Babylon the Great. No, you need to dig a lot deeper and not stop with Zionism or Israel or Judaism, because that's not where it ends. It's not where the rabbit hole ends. Unfortunately, and I'm going to say it on my video, and I don't, whatever, do with it, you stupid, sorry, I'm not even supposed to say that one. Fact checkers, check it out, okay? It's the truth. It is the truth. It doesn't stop with Zionism. Zionism is being used. Bottom line. That's all there is to it. They were promised first the land, the Palestine land. Okay? They worked with Hitler to get the Jews into Palestine and then closed the door. Okay? And then closed the door. Now that is another rabbit hole. There's another huge rabbit hole that nobody wants to talk about. Something that was covered up and closed because we were not supposed to know what really happened. Another deception, people, that really needs to be investigated. And nobody is supposed to talk about the Holocaust. Nobody is supposed to talk about the Holocaust. I believe when I heard some things about 9/11 this year, they said never again. Doesn't that sound like the Holocaust, never again? Isn't there a connection between Holocaust Jewish and 9/11 Jewish? Yeah, there is a connection. And if you do your research, this guy did it pretty good. Because you are right. I mean, he is right. You can trace it back that, again, Zionism did the dirty work. And I'm going to say it right here too. Zionism did the dirty work with the Jews in the Holocaust as well. They wanted Palestine. They wanted Israel back. They wanted, I don't call it Israel really. I mean, if they want to call it Israel, that's their problem. But it's not Israel. It's Judah. They wanted Judah back. They're Jews, so they should have Judah back, or if that's what they want. But I'm not going to interfere in politics. Whatever happens in politics happens in politics. But that's what they wanted. They wanted their land back, or whatever they thought their land was. And that is Judah. It's not Israel. They only have the right to Judah, if anything, because Israel belonged to the other tribes. And the other tribes have not even been found. Okay? And I'll guarantee you, if you find them, they're still not very happy with the Jews either. Because the reason why the 10 tribes left Judah is because they were very unhappy, because Judah was trying to rule them as well. So here we go. But that was a little sidetrack. Yes, we can trace these things back to Zionism, and including 9/11. 9/11 can be traced back to Zionism and who did the dirty work. But that does not mean that the original plan came from Zionism. It only meant that they did the dirty work. Now today they have their land, right? Why are they continuing to do the dirty work for other agents like the Jesuits? Because I really claim right now, and again, it's my opinion, right? Because I don't have any facts, and I'm going to say that right here. I don't have facts at this point that's the case. It's my intuition that all this goes back to the Jesuits or papacy. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that it's just stopping with Zionism. This guy said, oh, the Zionists want to take over the world. At least they want to have a greater Israel. And maybe that's the reason why they're still doing the dirty work for the Jesuits. Because that's what they want. They want a greater Israel. They want the whole area in the Middle East. They want to have it under their rule. And I believe they are promised that land if they continue to do the dirty work. That's what I believe. So, of course, 9/11 was created to continue the war, in the Middle East. And this guy, Corey Hughes, really showed that very clearly. I mean, he showed that very, very well. And so all the connections he showed very well. But again, then he stopped. Why did he stop? Remember I talked about, what is it called? Planned opposition. Planned opposition. And is it planned? Did I say planned opposition? Controlled opposition. That's what the word is. Okay. Remember I talked about controlled opposition. Well, I really believe there's a lot of controlled opposition out there. And people giving us information, lots of information, lots of good information, but then they don't really go to the source or to the true people that caused the whole thing. That is covered up. See, who is the true person on the pyramid? It's Lucifer. Now, do you think they're going to go and say, oh, it's Lucifer who organized everything because he has a plan how to bring everything down? Because that is the end goal. And he's been doing this. Now, 9/11 and the deception that happened at 9/11 is continuing today. When 9/11 happened, and after they really realized that they can fool so many people with this 9/11 people, they continue to fool us. One lie after the other. Now, of course, all this goes back to I don't know how long, because they have fooled us before. They know humankind is like sheep. Humankind are like sheep. They're not thinking. I'm thinking, oh, only today people are dumb. Maybe they drank too much fluoride. Maybe their brain is just closed. But no, that goes back, way back, okay? Let's just go back to the Holocaust. And I know we're not supposed to talk about the Holocaust or deny the Holocaust. I'm not denying what happened during Hitler and how many Jews were killed. I know how many Jews, I know lots of Jews were killed, but they were not killed the way they told us, okay? And the people who killed them never, ever stood before the judges and were judged correctly. Now, I don't want to go into any detail about the Holocaust. I'm just trying to tell you, I am not fooled about what happened during the Third Reich in Germany. I'm not fooled, okay? I believe I know what happened. I believe I know what happened. And it's not what they told us. And I'm not denying that a lot of Jews died. I don't think it's 6 million. I think they say 6 million, but they already know, they have already made sure that it wasn't 6 million. I don't know how many. I know it was quite a lot, and it was too much. And I tell you right now, I am absolutely against it. And as a German, I am still extremely guilty for that. Less guilty than what I was, in the past. Because now I know, hey, it wasn't the German. Well, I'm sure there were German people involved and knew about what happened to them. Of course they are. But the people who killed the Jews, nobody ever talked about them. Okay? Nobody ever talked about them during Nuremberg trial. Nobody said, oh, all these factory owners that used them as labor slaves. Oh, they didn't say that, did they? Do you know how many Jews died in factories because they were used as slaves, as labor slaves? Nobody ever talks about that, do they? Oh, no, so many were killed, in gas chambers. No, why? Because they were distracting from the people who really did it. And you know what, fact checkers? Maybe you need to really fact the checks and don't go just someplace on the internet, okay? This is what, no. Okay, we haven't even done the research. Why? It's very easy, because nobody wants to go to the real source. We are all okay to just find a scapegoat and put everything on it, so we really don't know what really happened. The same thing happened with 9/11. Nobody wants to really find out what really happened at 9/11, even though we already know it, okay? There was another video that I watched, and Corbett Report. If you go to Corbett Report, he has done, I think, several videos about 9/11, and he traced it really to the money and what was going on. So we do have information about 9/11. We shouldn't be fooled. Nobody should be fooled. Nobody. And yet people are still fooled. Why? Because all they do is close their mind, close their eyes, continue marching. And then they say, oh, how terrible that all these people died in the Twin Tower. But nobody cares really what happened. The war that started afterwards, nobody cares. The countries that were destroyed and are still destroyed today, a whole culture that was destroyed. No, we don't care, right? Iraq, Afghanistan, that were all coming out of that whole thing with 9/11. When 9/11 was actually planned, it was a plan by some other people, the people that are continuing warring today. Now, I am not saying anything against Israel or the Jews, okay? The Jews are innocent, just like the Jews are, innocent during the Third Reich. They didn't expect the Germans to go after them. Why? Because they had a good relationship with them. They had a good relationship. And yet, it happened. Why? Because some of their people were traitors. Some of their people were traitors. And they didn't even care about their own people. They didn't even care. They didn't mind sacrificing them. They didn't mind sacrificing them. And so that's why I'm saying I'm not saying anything against the Jews or anti-Semitic. No, I'm not anti-Semitic, believe me. I don't even know if I don't have Jewish blood myself. We don't know that. We're so mixed. We're such a mixed people. I'm from Germany, but even Germans are so mixed, especially with the Jews. There was a little click. So we don't know We don't know where we are coming from, what kind of blood we have. We're all humankind. And as humankind, we have to stick together because there are really bad apples out there. Bad apples. We're all, the apples, we're all in a basket, and there's bad apples in the basket. So we, need to support each other. And I'll tell you right now, this guy, and that's what I didn't like. I mean, the information is correct. I'm not saying that the information is wrong, because it isn't. But this guy is not going to the bottom, and he's protecting somebody. Okay, that's why I'm saying this. I keep forgetting it. Controlled opposition. This is clear. Also clear controlled opposition. See, I'm giving you a whole bunch of information. That is the truth. But at the same time, I am distracting you. And people, you have to learn that. That is the most important. If you don't learn anything, it's the controlled opposition part. Because the controlled opposition is again misleading you, because they sound like they are really, really, really telling you the truth. You see, what you do is you see the truth about the wrong side. Okay, you see the truth about the wrong side, and then this people on this side are coming and giving you more information to support what you have already discovered on this side. But they're not telling you that they are controlled by the same side who is controlling this side. And that is what controlled opposition is. They are both, okay, whatever, that person on top is controlling both sides. But they're trying to hide you really important information. And this guy has done that. I know there is a, and I'm looking outside the window again because there's just mama deer coming by, and I haven't seen the baby deers yet coming by. So anyways, so this guy is telling you lots of information, but because he's hiding the real truth, and he is acting like he has done a lot of research, that's why I really believe he is really controlled opposition. Okay, that's why. Because he is, like he is presented as having done lots of research. I mean, he is reading exactly, is reading everything that he is presenting in this video. But again, he is not going to the bottom, which is pretty sad. I think it's very sad. So anyways, I am coming to the end. This is a shorter video, but I just want you to really open your eyes, because we have been deceived for so long, and we are going to continue to be deceived. And it's sad. It's very, very sad that has to happen. It's very sad. I don't know what else to say. All I can say is I'm hoping very strongly that Jesus will return. Oh, one more thing that I forgot. One more thing. When I did this reading about Messiah's return, they also said, I just read it this morning again, that Israel is having another lockdown starting on the 18th. Now, it's really interesting. They're saying because of Corona, but if it's really Corona, wouldn't you think they would have to do the lockdown right away? Why are they locking down on the 18th? Today is the 13th, and they're locking down on the 18th. Why the 18th? Well, I'll tell you why. I really think they're afraid that something will happen on the Feast of Trumpets. They're saying, oh, they're doing the lockdown because of the holidays. Well, why the holidays? Why are these holidays so important that you have to lock down? Of course, it's not coronavirus, right? You know that. They're saying, oh, they're testing more and more people. People, that doesn't matter whether you test, whether 3,000 people come out positive, 5,000 or even 10,000. It doesn't matter, okay? You test 10,000 people and they come out positive for corona. It doesn't matter. If they are not sick, who cares? It just means they all have the virus. And the virus is deadly anyways. 80% or how many don't even get sick, don't even have symptoms. But they're making it still look like we're all dying. Anytime somebody has the virus, we're dying or we're a threat to somebody else. That in itself is another 9/11. I have said that in my first videos when I talked about when coronavirus came out. One of my first videos, I told you this is another 9/11. And it is true. This is another 9/11 that keeps going on and keeps going on and is being used constantly to justify everything. Now, they're closing down again, lockdown. Israel is locking down again. Okay? And you're asking yourself, why? No, they're not locking down because there are more corona cases. No, they're locking down for another reason. They don't want you to know the reason. Okay? They're not coming out and saying, oh, we're coming to the Feast of Trumpets, and there's a good possibility that people will fake maybe a rapture. They're not saying that, do they? They are afraid. They are afraid of something. Okay? Maybe they don't know because, see, they know. Lucifer knows about Messiah. You think he ignores Messiah? Do you think he ignores Jesus? Do you think he ignores God? He can't ignore God. He knows him very well. He knows the plans God has. He is part of the game, the chess game. He knows, he sees the chess things on the chess game. We don't. Lucifer sees it. He knows the next step is what? The rapture. He knows it. Okay? He has fooled so many people about end times prophecy that he knows what's going on. And he knows the next event is the rapture. And he also knows the rapture could happen next week on the 20th. I'm saying 20th because I believe it starts with the 19th. And of course, the last trump will be at the end of the 2 days. Does Satan know it? Of course, Satan knows it. He knows it. He knows that this year could be the event. And do you know what? He is prepared, people. He is absolutely prepared for this stuff. The only people that are not prepared is the fake Christians. Okay, I call them fake Christians. There are very few Christians that are truly awake. Okay, I've seen a lot of people that are really saying, oh, the rapture could happen, this fall or in a week. They got things a little bit wrong. But, bottom line is always, do you have the Holy Spirit? Do you have the Holy Spirit? If you don't, please start reading Romans. If you're not sure if you have the Holy Spirit, start reading Romans. I think it's Romans 12. But you should really read the whole letter over and over and over again. And then go to Galatians and read Galatians over and over again. You have a week. Be prepared. All I can tell you. See, I can't tell you, oh, be born again, because that is Christianese. So what does that mean? What really does that mean? I just keep saying you need to follow Jesus. You need to follow Jesus. He needs to be your leader, period. If he's not your bridegroom, Okay, if he's not your bridegroom, if you never heard about that you're supposed to be the bride of the bridegroom and Jesus is the bridegroom, and you're supposed to make a covenant with him, okay, like a covenant between a man and a woman, a bride and a bridegroom. If you have not made your covenant with Jesus, you are not married to him, and you're not going. Okay, that's really bottom line, is making a covenant with him, that he is your bridegroom and that you do follow him wherever he goes. That's bottom line. Okay? So I don't need to talk too much about it. But I believe that the Jews know something is coming. They know it. Why else would they do it? See, this whole thing with the lockdowns and the coronavirus, I really believe it has something to do with the Feast of Trumpets. I really believe that Satan thinks that it is a possibility that Jesus is returning this year. I don't know if he is returning this year, and I don't even think Satan knows 100% either. But there is a great possibility. Does Satan know when the wrath of God starts? I think he does, because the wrath of God is really some catastrophic event that's going to happen. And it's not something random. I don't think that these catastrophic events that God is using are random. God planned that from the beginning of the world. Okay, all these things are planned. Everything is planned. 2,000 years, 6,000 years, okay? You know, the intervals of 2,000 years, 2,000 years, 2,000 years, 2,000 years, 6,000 years. It's planned. It's not a random thing. God planned it. Now, we don't know the day or the hour, but God knows already God knows exactly when it happens. The Father knows, okay? Because he has it planned. So there is a plan, and he knows it. And so does Satan. He may not know the day or the hour, the exact day or the hour, okay, or the minute or whatever. But he has some idea, and his idea is a lot more better than ours, because he knows the events in the heavens that are being prepared right now to administer the wrath of God. So does he know when the wrath of God starts? I think he knows approximately when it does start, because he already knows it. Remember, the people in Revelation 6, they knew the wrath of God was coming. They were hiding in the bunkers. So they knew it. So they had the bunkers. And we know that today. Why do they have the bunkers? Because they know it's coming. That's why. They're not just building these bunkers willy-nilly. Okay, they know it's coming. Why do they know? Because Satan is telling them. Lucifer has told the upper people, the people with money. Okay, he has told them, the elite. So they have prepared. So there is no doubt that what's going on right now with this whole thing, they know something could happen. I'm going to say could happen, because I don't know it. Okay, I'm watching the signs, and so should you. You should be watching the signs. And if they're saying, oh, they're closing, they're giving another lockdown, even though nothing is happening, they're using the corona. Okay, and we're continuing with the nonsense, the 9/11. We believe the nonsense about 9/11. We're believing the nonsense about all kinds of things. Okay, and now we're believing the nonsense about this corona, and we're running headlong into the things that Lucifer is planning. I have done lots of videos. Please go back. If you just found my channel right now, go back and watch my other videos, because I'm telling you clearly the things that Lucifer has planned so far. and things go by on schedule. He's got a plan that when the rapture happens, how he's going to deceive the world. Okay? He already has a plan. And people think, oh, people will know, like this, what is it called? Left Behind series, where people actually knew it was. No, people are not going to know. People are not going to listen. They don't care. Okay? Look at Corona. Who really thinks about anything? Nobody. Nobody believes anything. No, nobody knows the truth because nobody believes the truth. Okay? Nobody searches for the truth. So when this happens, the rapture is going to happen. People, they're going to deceive you. They're going to tell you a lie. They're going to tell you a lie. And even maybe afterwards, they're going to show you a Messiah, a false Messiah. And people will again fall for it. And then the two witnesses will come and they will speak against maybe this false Messiah. Okay, and people will be happy until these two witnesses are being killed. They'll be happy. They will have, celebration because these two witnesses are killed. This is what's going to come. And if you find this video after the rapture, then you know what you have missed. And you have to hang in there. I believe it's maybe 3.5 years, 7 years at the most. I cannot imagine that the wrath of God will last 7 years. No, because the wrath of God is going to be so horrible. After 3.5 years, nobody is going to be left over. No humankind. If it would go 7 years, no. Sorry, I'm tired. No humankind would be left. I'm coming to an end, though. Please always let the Holy Spirit guide you.